Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. Website for Kathy, kathymcleland.com. Feel free to freeze frame if you'd like that information, of course. Supportive Oracle Cards, a Chakra Wisdom Oracle Cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. I keep wanting to call her Grace for some reason. Websites for them, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk, or watkinspublishing.com, which is down here somewhere. Feel free to freeze frame there if you need any of that information or if you'd like it. Okay, what do we have for Gemini? I like that for you. Okay, what's happening? Believe in your decisions. Believe in your decisions. Believe in your decisions. Okay. Believe in your decisions. This card popped out again. Okay. Believe in your decisions. So you got this Ace of Cups starting right off. So I feel like you got enlightenment with the Star card, which the Star card is great for Gemini because the Star card sometimes talks about Aquarius, which you're not Aquarius, I know, but that's another air sign. It's the leader air sign, and I feel like you're moving forward and you're making something happen. You know what you want. You're like, that moment just hit you like, well, if I want it, I better go get it. So I'm gonna go get it, and there you go. Great start, wonderful start. I feel like you're very happy with what you're doing. Whatever the situation is or was, could be was, you're very happy to be a part of it, and it's like, yes, this is exactly where I want to be, exactly what I want. I made it happen, and I'm glad I did. There's a lot that goes on around this situation. I love this Seven of Pentacles because it's very interesting because you notice you have the flying horses. Are they flying horses? What are they? Yeah, they're flying horses. They don't have any wings or anything. But like there's a lot going on around this. There's like a couple purple ones, there's like a yellowish one, a green one, there's a light blue one, a dark blue one, and then the like reddish brown one going on there. But what I'm getting is like this reminds me of you. All these ideas, a lot going on. Even though I'm continuing on and I'm continuing in the same direction, I have to change how I go. I got to keep it lively. I got to keep it fresh. I got to keep it going. I'm still heading west, but while I'm heading west, I'm doing a little bit of this. I'm taking some of it by train, some of it by boat, some of it by motorcycle. I'm making sure what I need gets ahead of me and is there. I'm making sure things are taken care of. You're very busy, but you're very active in keeping yourself entertained, which is not bad, because that's how you keep invested. You're continuing on the same direction, but you keep yourself entertained while you're continuing on this same direction. For this card, because of the way it's coming forward, it feels like there's a gift here too. Are there bows? There's bows on this card. I have never noticed that before. This is a very interesting representation of this card. I've really never looked that close to it before. Butterflies and all this stuff. Butterflies is very interesting. It's keeping up with the changes and using small adjustments to stay the course. I'm still going the same way. I'm still keeping it going, but I'm doing small adjustments to keep it going, to keep it lively. This is like this. I swear, the Seven of Pentacles is just very Gemini for me, because there's so much going on in this card, but it's like everything's still going the same direction. It's just we're doing it. We're adjusting and keeping ourselves entertained while we do it. I love this card now. There's even like a magenta little butterfly there, butterfly at the bottom there. Purplish magenta something going on there. At least to me in person it looks darker than it did on camera, I'm noticing. That's how you're keeping this balance. Oh, you're doing real well. You're doing real well. I don't know. I wonder if there's just a Gemini feel to this Earth. It's just very interesting to me because Gemini's air. You're not Earth, but it's just feeling like very Earth connected. Kind of like, I'm going to keep the course. I'm going to get this to work out, but I have to do it on my terms. I have the staying power. I just have to make sure I entertain myself the whole way through. Um, do I want to use that analogy? It's like with intimacy. If you keep switching it up, you can be entertained the whole way through. If it's the same action over and over and over, you're like, well, it was fun, but now you're boring me. Can we just stop? You take that where you want to take it. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, unless you've experienced something, I don't think you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you have, you're gonna know what that meant. Um, so it's kind of like we can keep this going. We can make this a long-lasting, fun situation, but we got to keep it lively. Got to keep changing it up. Got to do this, do this, do that, do that. You're very, very empowered and in your element. Okay. Now the energy here that's supporting you, which is very, very interesting. Fire. Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands. Yeah, Wands in this deck. Sometimes it's staves or rods, but this one's rods. Wands. Um, Fire is very compatible with air. Very good, right? Keeps moving, moves very quickly, likes things to be changed up, likes to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This is very complementary for air. But the continuing in the same direction, I have a weird feeling, even though you're pushing it in the same direction, it's not matching up perfectly. Because fire and earth don't really match as well. Fire is very destructive for earth, usually. That's how I see it anyway. I mean, it has its connections, obviously, but more than not, it tends to be destructive. When I think of fire and earth together as one, I think of lava. You know what I mean? You don't really build anything with that. You just you're subject to whatever it's going to do. The supportive energy seems to come and go. It's here and then it's not, then it's here and then it's not. It's not like that's kind of fire. Like it's stronger at times. When the fuel is there, it burns bright. When the fuel gets a little low, it doesn't burn as hot. So the Hanged Man is kind of like it's sticking with you, but it's not, the intensity does not, the intensity changes. And it's not like it's just the same, the same, the same, the same. It just seems like the intensity keeps changing. It consumes what's there, but if it's lacking fuel, it just doesn't burn as bright. It just doesn't. And I keep getting that that's like the challenge with this situation. This is a good connection for you. You have to find something for this supportive energy to go from the knight to the queen. And just to be fair, the queen and king I view as equals. Like they're both leader energies. They may have a little bit of a different way of doing it, but they're still the ones in control. This energy has to be upgraded. So for example, if you're going west, so I'm in the United States. So if I'm in New York, I'm going west. Say I want to get to Washington, which I think is on the other coast, unless my brain is tripping. I think it's right above California. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There's a state, Washington. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be so embarrassed. But if it happens, it happens. But anyway, going to the other coast. Let's just leave it at that. You have to give them something to look forward to and to want over there. So it's like, say you're going over there, you're like, I want to go to the wineries over in Washington. Blah 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 blah. That's what I want to see on the coastal side of that state. That's where I want to go. Where the wineries are, where the weather is nicer. That's where I'm trying to go. I'm changing it up and doing it different ways, but this is where I want to end up. Say they're not a person who's into that. You're like, okay, great. Now what do I have to find something else that's in that area that you can get them connected to, so that they're excited to get there too. So that way, when things keep changing and going left and right, they feel like they're working towards the same goal, and they'll work with you on that to keep going towards the same goal. That's upgrading it from the knight to the queen. They're like, that's what I want. I want that. That's in the same spot. So whatever else is there, like for example, from what I understand, I don't want to say that, do I? There's other reasons to go there. So whatever reason you can find for them to really attach to. Like I feel like there's a lot of influential people who are in that area. Let's put it that way. So if you can like, oh, don't you want to see this, or maybe we'll see that person, or this, or there's this, the pass, the mountain pass. But maybe they like mountain passes. Maybe there's something about the mountains they like. Maybe there's skiing or something on one side of the mountain. You're like, we could do this, we could do that over there. You get them locked in. You have to find whatever works. I think maybe that's why it's not clicking in exactly, because I feel like you have to figure out what works best for them. And Gemini is really great for like helping people find what they really want. Like you can ask all those questions and help them dig a little deeper and go, oh, that's there? I'd love to see that. And you can get them invested in that. It may be something where it's on the coast and you're like, okay, now I have to get them invested in the coast, but make sure that they want the coast up in the northern part of the United States here so that it works both for me and them. I don't want them wanting to go to the southern coast of the United States because that's not where I want to go. So I have to find something to like lock them in. Like what is there? What might get them to want to go there? I think you'll get it. I understand that you'll figure out what that is. I seem to be like tripping on like the explanation for some reason. So I feel like they're like you're gonna have to figure out what that is. You might have to like personally get into that and kind of like, it's not something you can just look at that and be like, oh, this is over there. They'll probably like that. You got to kind of talk about what's there and see what like when you're mentioning something like, oh yeah, there's a dog breeder. There's a lot of dog breeders of this type of dog there, and they're like, what? Really? I love those type of dogs. You're like, oh, you do? Well, when we're there, like, like you go, it'll kind of just that could be it. That could work. I think that's why that's coming through that way. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. You do seem to pull back your energy a little bit, but I feel like this is like it's locked in at this point. Once you get them in this leader energy pushing forward, like they want to get there, I feel like it's smooth sailing for you after that because they're kind of random anyway, and you just kind of have to roll with it and go with it. I feel like you can have a good time. Keep your eye on it. Definitely keep your eye on it. Don't just assume it's going to work out, because I'm getting the vanity card, kind of like just don't assume it's going to work out. Kind of like, okay, they're invested. Keep them invested. You might have to upgrade it. And you may like, okay, they wanted to see the dogs at first, but this other thing, I was talking to like that other thing too, so I have to upgrade that. You may have to keep moving forward and just keep finding different ways. I think it's going to keep changing because that is fire. So you might start getting them going that way because they want to see the dogs, but maybe that they kind of get bored with that idea. So you're talking about a couple other things. You're like, oh wait, they like that idea too. Hey, don't forget this is there too. Don't forget. Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, let's go see that. Okay, cool. It may have to keep evolving. Don't rest. Don't rest. I think that's what the vanity is saying. Don't feel like you kind of cinched it up and we're good to go. You have to keep on it. Definitely keep on it, because I do see success coming in here with the Six of Wands, but this person is going to get really invested, and the success might be more determined about what they want to see. So just make sure you keep that success anchored where you want to go. It's going to have to keep changing and morphing, but it's not going to be like I find one thing they want and we can stick with it. They seem to be changing constantly. Kind of like, okay, that's good for today. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm bored with that. Well, there's this there too. There is. Okay, let's keep going. Growth, Empress. You're going to have to keep on your toes to keep this person invested. Keep finding different things that will keep them interested in getting to that goal. I don't feel like that's really hard for you. Just keep in mind that you're going to have to keep doing it. That's all. I don't think it's going to be hard. As long as you keep talking with this person, and I feel like you're going to keep researching new things in that area or whatever the goal is. There's new things for them to find. Especially if you keep showing them new things to find there, you might really get them excited. Like, when I finally get there, wow, I wonder all these things. I can't wait to see all these things. Ooh, that's the vanity thing too. Make sure that, you don't just throw out possibilities, because they're going to be looking for these things when they show up. You may have a laundry list of things that could be great when they get there, but if it's the could be great, you want to like really drive home like, this is what I know, this is what I've seen, I found this online, who knows what else. You want to like drive that home. Like, they have these type of dogs, who knows what other type of dogs they could have there. And if they kind of think, well, they probably have this type of dog too, because usually if they have that type of dog, they have this type of dog. Drive that home. Like, I didn't see any, but I guess we'll find out. I didn't see any. I don't know, but don't let them just believe something if you're like, well, it might not be there. Drive home that you're like, if you don't know, and you're like, I don't know if that's there, make sure that they realize that. Oh, I don't know if that's there. This dog I've seen there. I haven't seen anything about that dog, that other type of breed. But it could be. Makes sense. You're like saying if they have this type of dog, they probably have that type of dog too. I didn't see any, but we can look. Maybe, but I don't know. Careful with that. Don't let them just assume you know things that you don't know. Be careful. Because when push comes to shove and they end up at this location, they're going to be expecting a lot to be there. Are we good? I do see success here, though. I mean, I am getting the success. I do see this working out very, very, very well. But also, keep track of how much energy this takes out of you to make this happen. Did you enjoy getting this to the end? Or at some points, did it get really overbearing and you're just kind of like, well, I mean, it got me to my goal, but did I like the trip? When you get there, you want to evaluate that too. Did you like the trip? Was it worth doing it again? Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.